We are Bonnie and Rudy Gaber. We own Hoot Farm up in Libby, Montana. We're just going to kind of run you through a few of the tools that we purchased to help our business using the CFAC grant funds. We have a relatively new farm on 2 acres, and it was previously weedy pasture, so we have a big weed seed bank weed problem. So most of the tools we purchased had to do with weed control and a couple to do with just improved plant growth. I think that my favorite is that backpack sprayer with an electric battery. We don't really spray all that much. Sometimes maybe a preventative spray like BT, which is what he's doing now, or sometimes boron for our beets or chard because our native soil is really deficient in that. We really haven't used much foliar fertilizer really at all, but we're way much more likely to try that maybe next year since we have this cool delivery method that's no longer really time consuming. We used to just use a couple gallon pump sprayer, and this is very easy and effective. It's just nice because it's an important job, but when it gets super busy in the summer, we often just don't make time for that. And so this sprayer makes the job a lot less intimidating and time consuming, and we're just that much more likely to do it. So here's a shot of the Modin heater that we installed in our hoop house this year. We installed it this spring into our hoop that mostly has tomatoes and about a row of peppers. We installed it this spring and didn't get it in too early, so it really didn't do that much actual heating for us this spring, but it did allow us the peace of mind to kind of plant things a little earlier than we would have. And I think that next spring will be the real telling time to show just how much earlier we're able to get our tomatoes in and how much better they do with a little bit more stable temperatures. All right, here is one other tool that we used the CFAC funds to purchase. It's a wheel hoe by TerraTech. We've never had a wheel hoe before, so we really like the ease that you can use it as opposed to a stirrup hoe. We did get a couple different implements to go right back here, but we quickly learned that even though it's really easy to change the implements, we pretty much just leave this one on there so that it's always there to just grab and go. We do use it for weeding our walkways, but we also found that it's really useful for just clearing a bed and then flipping it over quickly.
I think probably one of my favorite tools was the Compostable Mulch bed layer, because you can put down a layer of mulch fairly quick and it's good for a whole season if you're growing a long season crop. These implements here are up front and they're digging a trench, and there's a roll of mulch on here and a bed press roller that goes here that I have off right now, and the mulch goes down under the press roller, and then this wheel holds it down into the trench that this plow here creates, and then this plate here would be in the back and then pushes the soil back over the mulch to hold it down. It's not fully assembled right now because after we used it to lay the mulch on our leeks and onions this spring, I decided that it might be possible to use it to hill potatoes. So to do that, I actually reversed the plows on the implement and I took off the roller that presses the mulch to the ground. And so basically this way I have the paddles up front scraping excess or extra bed soil towards the potatoes, and then these plows lifting it up against the plant. For us it worked quite well. So far, nothing's blown away and the weed pressure has been reduced.
So one of the other things we used the funds to purchase was landscape fabric. We have a lot of weed pressure on our farm, so landscape fabric helps us to manage that. But kind of an interesting way we used it this year is on our onions and leeks over here. We used the biodegradable mulch to plant on top of our beds to plant our onions and leeks into. That way they can expand. We can harvest the leeks, you know, one at a time instead of needing to do the entire bed at once, because the mulch allows them to expand. But we knew it would be a problem with our weeds for the walkways because you need quite a bit of dirt exposed still to hold down that biodegradable mulch. So what we ended up doing was cutting a 4-foot roll of landscape fabric in half on a chop saw, and then we use that to cover up our walkways so that we've got pretty good coverage here. This is definitely the least amount of weeding we've ever spent on our allium block before. It is pretty labor intensive at first to set up, but it saved us a lot of time later on. Yeah, so anyway, we just want to say thanks a lot for selecting us for those grant funds. We really appreciate the opportunity to improve our business.
Thank you.